Fashion school is not the only way in. In fact, it might be the slowest and the least rewarding. Anyone can know how the industry works if you just know where to look. And I'm going to break it down in this video in 6 simple steps on how you can learn more about the fashion industry. As an aspiring fashion professional, your most valuable currency is going to be information, because the fashion industry for the longest time has been a fast-paced industry. Literally, one day you're in and the next day you're out, because relevance is everything. So where do you start getting all of this information and all of this knowledge? Point 1, the shows. Follow Fashion Week across the 4 major cities: New York, London, Milan and Paris, in that order. Fashion is constantly evolving and expanding beyond these 4 cities, but for a start, stick with these 4. Fashion Week is where the shows are displayed according to the fashion calendar. And now I'm just going to break down the fashion calendar in the easiest, simplest way for you. There are 2 main seasons that most designers show, and it's spring, summer and fall, winter. Spring, summer usually starts around September, early mid-September. Fall, winter begins from February. There are still some other seasons that some big design houses still show, for instance resort wear or pre-fall, but you should stick with these 2 for now. The couture shows are usually after Fashion Week. Spring, summer for couture is in January, and fall, winter for couture is in June. And in Fashion Week, just know that the calendar is predated. What I mean by that is spring summer 2025 has been shown last year, and this year we'll be expecting spring summer 2026. So next year it will be spring summer 2027. So it's always a year ahead. That's how fashion calendars are read. And that means that spring summer 2026, the Fashion Week calendar begins next week, and it kicks off with New York Fashion Week, which is from the 11th to the 16th. Aside from the 4 major cities, there are also other cities that might pique your interest, and depending on how fast and how much you want to learn, you can imagine how much of information needs to be spread out in the fashion industry. So fashion press is really important, and that brings us to magazines and news. Media is an important part of the chain, because magazines and news are able to take everything from the runway and then break it down, translate it into something that the general public can digest. There are currently 28 international publications of Vogue, but you should probably start with American Vogue, British, French Vogue and Italian Vogue. Magazines are going to be important for you if you are a stylist or into fashion photography. So anything that curates outside of fashion design, magazines are an important way to learn. Although today many magazines work through subscription-based models, and most of their articles might be behind paywalls, but you can still get a lot of free information by following their websites and following their social media. Other magazines aside from Vogue that will be very important for you to learn from: Women's Wear Daily, BOF, the Business of Fashion, has an extensive YouTube that you can learn from, and it's completely free. Dazed, Harper's Bazaar, and there are just so many other resources, but you can start with these ones. There's a lot of information that are hidden in books, and I'm not just talking about flipping or scrolling through pretty pictures. I'm talking about reading the actual words in fashion books. You can get a lot of foundational knowledge from memoirs and fashion history. There's certainly a ton of books out there on fashion, but you can start with these 4. And I've created a massive library of everything you're going to need in the description. If there's anything about this video that you like, it could be the background music, the text, what I'm wearing, or how I look, anything. A way that you can communicate that to me is by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and also leaving your thoughts in the comments, because I'm constantly changing stuff and style to see what you like and enjoy. So give me a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe. One of the ways to truly experience fashion is through films, and costume design is truly an entire world on its own, especially on how it shapes visual storytelling and character development. There are so many films and documentaries that can teach you so much about the fashion industry, and your focus should really be on how film is able to shape different eras in fashion. Aside from all the glamour, films and documentary will let you peek into the inner workings of the industry, like The Devil Wears Prada, where you can get a peek into the intensity, power tussles and the not so cute sides of the fashion industry. There are also a lot of reality shows that can give you an insight into what the day-to-day in the fashion industry looks like. Sometimes it might be full of drama, but you definitely find them entertaining as well. Today, metal dressing in films shows that fashion isn't just about the costumes, it's a lot about branding and culture. And this brings us to point 5, red carpet and pop culture. Major events like the Oscars, the Met Gala, the Grammys, some of the ones that you should probably keep an eye out for, because a lot of celebrities are able to influence trends. And so many of these artists and superstars that you see have a village of super talented fashion professionals, stylists, fashion consultants behind them. So why wouldn't you want to learn from what they've executed? Point 6, social media, the internet, podcasts, YouTube, however you like to identify your new age media. There are loads of amazing fashion journalists that offer fashion commentary on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and most of them are free. It will be good to follow some of them in order to curate your feed so that your Instagram and your TikTok knows that you want more fashion news on your social media. Fashion is everywhere, and if you truly want to learn and understand how the industry works, you have to start paying attention to these windows, and you'll be better than you were yesterday.